Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times, and a happy St. Patrick's Day to you. News today includes more from Donald Trump. There's always something interesting to watch there. He met today with Angela Merkel, Germany's leader, managed to work in the suggestion that President Obama had wiretapped her. This followed some news earlier in the day in which he accused the British of being in on his wiretapping by President Obama. Apologies have been made, but the reality show TV president goes on. I think the biggest news out of Washington is still the blowback from his budget and the stout defense that Trump people have given to some of the meanest parts of this budget, such as cutting Meals on Wheels and after-school feeding programs for children. His people say there's just no proof that feeding old people meals it provides any benefit to them, other than keeping them alive, I suppose. But you know, that's kind of low on the list of priorities these days. I hate to laugh. If you didn't laugh, you'd have to cry. Back home at the legislature, lots of things going on today. The House is meeting, the Senate isn't. But a number of things have happened. The House passed the bill to discourage whistleblowers by people, particularly who witness animal cruelty on their jobs, making you able to be sued if you should take a picture or a video of that sort of thing. The House also today passed something that the transgender rights group calls a way to criminalize transgender people. It's known as the Bathroom Bill Light. It expands the indecent exposure law to make you subject to a criminal penalty up to a year in jail for exposing genitals to somebody of the opposite sex. It removes the requirement that it somehow be for sexual gratification. There's no doubt that it grew out of the transgender bathroom debate. It's another black mark on Arkansas, if not quite as black as the pending bathroom bill. The House has just voted to move school elections from September to either the preferential primary in May or the general election in November. In election years, this is to increase participation in voting. We're one of the few states that still has a separate day for school elections. School people like to see only school voters at school elections. Some fear that partisan concerns will enter into school elections with a bigger turnout. No doubt about that. Also, no doubt that big money will be a factor. The House today did refuse to change the University of Arkansas School of Medicine's admission policy. It now gives preference to about the first 100 admissions based on an allotment among the congressional districts. Some people think this is unfair, that if we did away with this rule, that there'd be high concentration, more admissions from the second district. This is sort of the affirmative action thing. Deborah Ferguson was among those who said nobody who's unqualified gets admitted to med school, and geographic diversity is a good thing. The House today also approved a bill that applied the same rule to marijuana smoking that applies to cigarette smoking. That is, you can't do it in public, you can't do it in the car with a child, that sort of thing. But it doesn't otherwise make smoking of medical marijuana illegal. There were worse bills. This was a compromise that was backed by those who are pushing the medical marijuana bills through the agenda. Jason Rapert, our friend from Faulkner County, has filed an amendment to his bill that was aimed at forcing the Little Rock Airport to give up Bill and Hillary Clinton as the name of the airport. He didn't get any support for this, and so he walks away with tail between his legs on this one, I suppose. Kind of an interesting news on the crime blotter. 2 firefighters, one from Stuttgart and one from Maumelle, were arrested in Conway for pistol whipping a man leaving a sporting goods store in Conway and stealing his motorcycle. Surprised everybody at those cities. And finally, interesting little story, very small story, minor event. Kenton Buckner, the Little Rock police chief, had a problem the other day about having a gun stolen from him. Was in a little bit of a wreck on Markham Street the other day, didn't stop in time, ran into the rear end of a guy in front of him. The police report said he was following too close. He didn't get a ticket. I got one a few years ago in a similar circumstance. There may be a good reason for this. I've asked the chief. He hadn't responded just yet about why he didn't get a ticket. If he gets an answer, I'll let you know. That's it for this week. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back next week, still resistant.